In today's video, we're going to be doing a custom Seablock challenge. There are 20 islands on this map. Our goal is to rebuild our ship and leave the planet. Rules! We cannot leave the map. We cannot pick up bridges. Can I survive? This challenge starts out with us hiding in our cryosleep casket. Before our ship crashed here, this was the only thing keeping us alive. But now it's our job to keep ourselves alive, which means taming this harsh land and prospering on it. I'm going to get us started by cutting down some of these trees and planting some food. After that, I salvaged what I could from the shuttle and made a temporary shelter. Once morning came, it was time to give ourselves some more room. I set out to bridge the gap between me and the nearby islands. Once there, I quickly seeded what arable land there was. After that, I settled in for some research, which is something we're going to be doing a lot of. The next morning, I used the last of the wood that we had to bridge the gap between us and the third island. Thanks to this, we'd have enough land to grow the food we need to survive.
Because he doesn't have a way to grow trees yet. He needs to figure it out.
The next day, I built a table, a chair, and a horseshoe pin. This would do wonders to help keep him happy while he's trapped here.
Okay, he ate a table.
The rest of the season was spent working on the bridge, researching, and acquiring creepy pets.
What the dog doing?
We're going to run out of food so fast. And that is going to be how it is. That means our food's going to grow slower, though, too.
Almost the entirety of the first year was spent indoors, researching, waiting for trees to grow. Not much happened, but we have finally made it to the third island. This lonely dryad will be our salvation. The wood it produces will allow us to travel the world and better shelter ourselves from the elements. Its existence in this plane is truly a gift. The insects had totally ravaged the southern west island, and there was no way we were going to get over there anytime soon.
This whole island's ruined. I don't even know how we're going to get that. It's ridiculous. He's only got 3 more tiles to go too, which is awesome. We were planning on eating Catherine, but that's not going to work out at all. You're just unfortunate to be where you are. You're actually alive. We can build wood wall, yeah? Start building rooms for things. Heckin' yeah.
This island would become our new base of operations. There was a good amount of space, and we would be able to build a refrigerator as well as a research room. Things were starting to look a lot more doable. We were in high spirits.
There we go, that's done. It's so nice to see he's able to actually live kind of comfortably now. Like, I know he doesn't have a lot of space, but he's actually getting a lot done over here. I mean, obviously it wouldn't have been possible without these cool dudes over here. But it doesn't change the fact that he's achieved some pretty awesome stuff. Now, next order of business is probably going to be coming over here and taming these two.
Electricity is a commodity that we have in limited supply. In order for us to further our efforts to rebuild our ship and sustain ourselves, we must focus on this resource. First, a battery in the corner of the hallway, followed by a power line that would stretch the length of bridge we had built all the way to our old home. As many memories as we have had here, it was time to tear it down and make way for new construction. The time has come to acquire more space and, even more importantly, farmland. Bridging this distance may take a little while, but it will be well worth it in the end. Lil Noobert will need to go trim this tree religiously if we intend to accomplish this task anytime soon. To keep the tree from losing its faith too fast, it's best we move these wires out of its radius. Right here works great. And now we can pull up those wires that have been causing our faith to reduce so fast. And now we wait for more dryads to spawn, and while we're doing that, we continue our research. Finally, the first dryad pod had sprouted. All our hard work was finally starting to pay off. The fruits of our labor would start to bear fruit very soon. The first dryad had produced its first stack of wood. This would be the boon that started our next adventure, but it would also put us in a lot of danger. Let me explain. The fact that we have lived in relative peace for so many years already isn't a coincidence. Every raid we have had, the enemies have landed on the larger outer islands, and this has allowed us to stay safe for the most part. But the more we expand, the more we stitch these islands together with bridges, the greater the chance we will inevitably be attacked. And just like that, they had come for me. I had no defenses and I had nothing to protect myself. I had to act fast or these guys were going to kill me really fast. They were moving really quick and the only thing stopping them from getting to me were the dryads. To my surprise, this last dryad was doing an amazing job of tanking these tribals. Get him! Get him! I managed to drive off the last attacker using one of their own weapons.
Shit! You piece of shit! He's hit me with a beer bottle. I was sending to a dude, he came and smacked me upside the head with a beer bottle.
This was it. If I don't win this fight, the run will end right here. I need to win. With crisis averted, I tended to the wounded, cleaned up the blood, and butchered the dead. The meat would allow me to start making fine meals to boost Noobert's mood. After that, I started bridging to the island to the east, where I could get the tech print for the jump pack. This would be really useful later on.
Oh gosh, yes it hurts. Hey, you fighting the mechs?
From this point on, the fighting would only get worse. My final hope was that the civilian pods in our ship had survived the crash. If this were the case, I would be able to recruit them. The help would be invaluable to our cause.
Alright, let's go in here. See if all the other pods are still intact. Looks like they are. Nice. Let's open that auto eject. Hopefully no one's gonna die when they get out. Okay, you're not in good condition.
After tending Yuko back to health, I began reducing her resistance so we could recruit her into the colony. She was old, but her construction skill would be invaluable. I began work expanding the base to accommodate our new resident. I turned the rest of the ship into a warehouse, built a comm center, and began my work bridging towards the infested island. I also took some steps to give us more variety in our power supply. After that, I began work on a simple kill box to protect ourselves from future raids. It wasn't long before we were ready to add another member to our ranks. It would be great having more help around the base. I took advantage of our surplus resources to build some storage containers so we could better organize our stuff. This would allow us to store more food and more resources. Meanwhile, our bridge had gotten close enough to the infestation for me to take some pot shots at them. I could finally start clearing them out, and eventually we would be able to build a quarry here, which would allow us to get the resources that we need to build our ship to get off this planet. As the raids continued, our enemies fell before us, and we continued to get more free meat. Getting our third colonist was taking a really long time, so I decided to open the third cryosleep casket so we could recruit both of them. We were finally close enough to the insects so I could shoot them, build the quarry, get resources, and start researching Starflight basics. Meanwhile, blight crops burned, we recruited a prisoner, and Yuko dug in the hole in the ground. And after a long time waiting, Starflight basics was done. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd like to thank all my patrons that make this stuff possible. I couldn't do it without you. If you haven't, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next video.